In today's tutorial, we're going to look at how to crochet these little granny squares. At the centre, they have a lovely floral motif. We'll first of all start off by making a little square, like so. This little square also looks quite nice in its own right, and you might decide you'd like to make some granny squares using this technique and not bother with the petals. But should you wish to work up the petals, we'll show you how to do that too. So let's begin. Begin by working 4 chains. To make a 4-chain ring, slip stitch into the first chain you made. For round 1, chain 1 and then work a total of 8 single crochets into the ring. So go ahead, work your 8 single crochets and I'll meet you in a sec. When you've worked your 8 single crochets, ignore the first chain you made and slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet. And that completes round 1. For round 2, chain 1. We're going to work into the 3rd loop now, so not the front or back loop of the single crochets. If you just tilt your work forward, you'll see just at the back there's a little loop there. We're going to work a single crochet, chain 3, then single crochet into the 3rd loop of the next stitch. And you repeat this all the way round until you have 8 3-chain loops. So I'll show you once more. Chain 3, find your next single crochet, find the 3rd loop just at the back and single crochet. So go ahead, complete round 2. You will end up with a total of 7 3-chain loops, and we'll fasten off with a single crochet in the first single crochet to give us 8 3-chain loops. So here we have 7 3-chain loops. I'll complete the 8th. 1, 2, 3, and we find the first single crochet of round 2 and slip stitch into the top. And that's how it's looking. For round 3, just go ahead and slip stitch into the next 3-chain space. Slip stitch once more. Chain 1 and single crochet back into the same space. For round 3, we're working 8 4-chain loops. So you chain 4 and single crochet into your next loop. Chain 4, single crochet into the next loop. This is how it's looking. So carry on until you have a total of 7 4-chain loops, and we'll complete the 8th 4-chain loop just here. To complete our final 4-chain loop for round 3, go ahead and work your final 4 chains and then slip stitch into the first single crochet you made on round 3. So that completes round 3. For round 4, just slip stitch into the next space. We're now going to start with the granny stitch, really, making the granny square. So we work 3 chains to bring our work up to the right height. That will count as a double crochet. And then work 2 double crochets, all into the same space. Chain 2, and then work another 3 double crochets into the same space. So that completes a corner. Working down the side now, we just work half double crochets into the next loop, a total of 3 half double crochets into the next space or loop. And then work a corner, 3 double crochets into the next 4 chain space, chain 2, and then work another 3 double crochets into the same space. And once again, working down the side, 3 half double crochets into the next loop or space, and then you work a corner. So go ahead, continue as you have here, working your corner, 3 half double crochets, corner, 3 half double crochets. And I'll meet you when you've finished your final half double crochet just here. So here we are. I finished my final half double crochet. Here are our starting chains into the third one. Just work a slip stitch to close the round, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. We need to work our way across to the corner now, to the next corner. Slip stitch in the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the corner. So that completes round 4. This is how it's looking. The central part is like a little flower in its own right, and you could actually leave this as it is without working your petals here if you like this effect. Right, so let's begin round 5. For round 5, we start by working 3 chains to bring our work up to the right height again. This counts as a double crochet, and we just make a normal corner, just as we did on round 4. Popping 2 chains, and then another 3 double crochets into the corner. This round just consists of double crochets now, so skip over the next 3 double crochets and into the space between the next stitches work 3 double crochets. Skip over the next 3 half double crochets into the next space between the stitches work 3 double crochets. And then you're at your next corner. Skip over 3 and work your corner, which comprises of 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets. And you repeat this sequence all the way around. So that's your corner, and this is the side. So we'll repeat one more side, just skip over 3 stitches, 3 double crochets between the next stitches. Skip 3 and into the space between the next 3 we work 3 double crochets, and that's all there is to working the sides. And then you go ahead, work your corner here, then work the sides down here, corner and sides, and I'll meet you here when you've finished the last set of 3 double crochets here. So here we are now at the end of round 5. Find the third of your building chains just here and work a slip stitch. Now you could fasten off here and leave it as it is, or if you prefer, you can edge this little square with a row of single crochets for round 6. I just go straight ahead and work a single crochet into the next stitch and into the next stitch, and then work a single crochet into the corner, chain 1 and single crochet, and then single crochet in each stitch right down to the next corner. You should have a total of 14 single crochets when you've finished. You'll have 1 single crochet here. We'll start to count from there. Don't count the chain 1. So you'll have 1 here, and 3 makes 4. Then this 3 is 7, and then 10, 13, and 1 in this corner will give you a total of 14. So go ahead, work your single crochets all the way around, working 1 single crochet, a chain 1, and 1 single crochet into each corner. And I'll meet you at the end of the round to fasten off. So that will be our 14th single crochet for this side, and then we just chain 1 and start working single crochets down here. Okay, so go ahead and I'll meet you when we reach here. So I've just worked a single crochet into the third of this cluster, third double crochet of the cluster. Now I'm going to put a single crochet into the top of the building chains. I like to finish with an invisible join. To work the invisible join, just snip your yarn, pull the yarn through. Of course you can fasten off however you like, and just thread your needle. Skip over the next stitch and insert your hook from front to back under the top 2 loops of the next stitch and pull. Then bring your needle back to the stitch where you started here, insert your hook under the back loop, and it helps for neatness to just go under the 3rd loop of the same stitch there and just pull, and then weave in your ends, and that gives a lovely neat finish. So I'll weave that in off camera. This is how it's looking. Okay, so I'll be with you in one moment and we'll start round 7, which is a round of the petals. Just before we begin round 7, take a closer look at round 1 and just the area where you joined with your slip stitch. Just be mindful here, this isn't actually a stitch. This will be your first stitch, and we're going to work into the front loops only for round 7. So insert your hook under the front loop only, join in your yarn. I just lay the yarn over my finger like so, and then you bring the yarn through and chain 2. Pinch the tail end of the yarn at the back, then work a double crochet, chain 2, and slip stitch back into the same front loop, and that completes your first petal. Next, find your next stitch and the front loop, insert your hook and work a slip stitch. Don't worry if you don't work over the tail end, you can always weave that in later. Chain 2, double crochet back into the same front loop, chain 2 and slip stitch back into the same loop. Next, find your next stitch, front loop only, and slip stitch. Chain 2, double crochet, chain 2 and slip stitch back into the same front loop. And you repeat this all the way round in each of the front loops as you go. So continue working your slip stitch, 2 chains, double crochet, chain 2 and slip stitch into each of the front loops all the way round until you have completed 8 petals, and then I'll meet you at the end of round 7. At the end of round 7, I'm just going to slip stitch into that first space that we made the first petal into. So just a little slip stitch in there, and then I'm going to go straight ahead, just tilt the work forward and find the back loop of that first petal. So you just take a little look, you'll see it's just sitting there, and into that we're going to make the first petal for round 8. So just like for round 7, we start with a slip stitch, but this time we chain 3. Then we're going to work an extended double crochet. So start your double crochet as normal, then just pull through 1, then through 2, then through 2. And we need to work 3 extended double crochets all together for each petal. All into the same back loop. Then we chain 3 and slip stitch into the back loop to secure the petal. Now, as this tail end's in the way, I'm just going to get rid of this off camera. So I've just tidied up that tail end, got it out of the way. If you bring your petals forwards, you'll be able to identify the back loops a little easier. I've already just had a practice at working into this one so you can see it a little easier. So all you do is work a slip stitch into that back loop, chain 3, work 3 extended double crochets into the same back loop, and then chain 3 and slip stitch back into the same back loop. And you repeat. So we'll find the next back loop, which is just there. The yarn is split slightly, that's not a problem. And just slip stitch, and again your chain 3, 3 extended double crochets, so that's 1, 2 and 3. Chain 3 and slip stitch back into the same loop, and then you find your next back loop, which is just there. So I think you get the idea now. You continue working your petals for round 8. When you've completed the 8 petals, I'll meet you here to fasten off. So I've just finished the last petal. All I'm going to do now is slip stitch into the first petal, then yarn over, pull through, snip the yarn, pull it through, and then just secure. And then I just go ahead and weave in the end. And then you just straighten out the little petals, and that completes the round 8, the final round for this little flower granny square. So that completes the tutorial for today. So I'd just like to thank you for watching, and just to remind those of you who might be watching and aren't subscribed, it would really help my channel and help the videos to reach other people if you did subscribe, and also hit the bell notification and give it a thumbs up or a like, and also to leave comments. All those things really do help the tutorials reach other people. Right, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Take care.